I mean, there's some people, given his own experience, who didn't. But who'd have gone more for working non-violently the whole time. But my point is that when we hear anyone's story, when we really, really open up, and I think you mentioned the heart, I think when we really listen with our hearts, then we reach a point where we know that if we live their life, we may have made the same choices, or we may not have. And we can have that experience with all sides. So we can have that experience with the IRA or ex-British soldier or the ex-lawless paramilitary, or the person who worked peacefully, or the person who decided to leave and come to England. Whatever story we listen to, we can understand, and that's where I reach a point, and it is about the heart truths of there is no other. There is no other. This doesn't mean that we can't challenge behaviour, and of course we have to do that. But it comes from a different place. It comes from. It's no longer about revenge, or I'm right, you're wrong, and you're bad and evil. It's more about someone's behaviour.
Right.
And that to me is a big difference, because you're still seeing who they really are. So that's what Pat's actually taught me, and that's an incredible gift. Incredible gift, and I take that with me wherever I go. My focus is to see the humanity and hear the story wherever I am, and not get into judging and blaming and make someone less than human. I still have that part of me, it hasn't gone away. When I'm hurting, I still want to find out who's wrong, who can I blame, who can I make less than human. I still have that, or I can still judge myself, make myself bad. But it's about capturing that response and turning it around.
Wonderful.
I know you understand.
I do, and I see it with my clients, and I've gone through that myself. Of course, I haven't gone through what you've gone through.
No, but it's the same.
It's suffering. Suffering is always from the perspective of I, and Joe is an Enneagram type 2 with a 1 wing. Don't know if you want to keep that in. But when I'm doing my Enneagram mentoring, it's that thing of I've just done an Enneagram workshop at the weekend with about 15 people. And the point of suffering is always comes in from the point of I want, because when I get, then I'll be. That's the way that it does. And the Buddha said when we end wanting, or we end craving, we end suffering. So it is. You've already beautifully said about that that there has been a gift from this, and it's one of the gifts that Pat has actually given you. And it is when we go within, and we bless the bad. We have to accept it. If we don't accept it, then we're fighting and resisting against it. We have that choice, but whatever our suffering is, I interviewed somebody recently about from terminal cancer. We can fight it, which is what a lot of people do. We're going to fight cancer, but she didn't fight it. She embraced it, and she recovered from it. That was a terminal diagnosis of cancer twice.
Wow.
So it's you have to look out for that one. There is this commonality which is within all people I've found who have gone through great hardship. It's not that there are or impossibility. Somebody would say, well, it's impossible. I remember I've gone and looked on Wikipedia regarding you and the whole thing, and I think there was somebody in the Conservative Party who was like, well, I can never forgive. But there was another. I think there was a Christian Conservative MP who said that his Christianity had enabled him to be able to find that. Whether we use religion or not, I'm personally not religious. I'm more spiritual than anything, but I'm more into faith, and I understand and accept all faiths, and I think they're all a pathway into experiencing the divine and to be able to evolve. That it ultimately is when we accept what is and bless what is and find the learning and find something out of it. And you beautifully did that within a matter of days, even though you were in suffering. I think the words that you said in that video, the Exeter video, the TED video, was, I sat down in St James's Church and I resolved to make good of something bad.
Yeah.
So already at 27, you had some level of consciousness of, as you said, you'd done some mindfulness work and you'd studied Gandhi and that non-violence in a peaceful way. You had that within you.
Yeah. I didn't know what that meant, but I was determined And now, looking back, I'm just at awe of what's happened. The many miracles, synchronicities, the incredible people in my life. Like every day, people who send me emails, and just yesterday, someone from North Kenya just sent me an email to say that he'd been speaking about me in the work that he does in peace building, and they have a lot of problems there. And he said, you just show what is possible, and that means a lot to us because we are living with people who killed our loved ones, and you just show us, and that's amazing. Thank you. Just out of the blue, it popped up on Facebook.
Beautiful.
And the places where I go, it's an honour to go to Rwanda and meet the people I met, the stories I heard, or go to Palestine, and as I've evolved as a person, I feel I could not have learned so much any other way. This does not mean that I wanted what happened to happen. I don't say that, but I'm really grateful for what I'm learning and what I'm still learning, and the fact that it opens doors for me. It opens doors, and that's amazing.
Can I just ask before the end, when you're going to these countries where there's obviously still conflict?
Yeah.
Is there compared to some other countries that you go to, that maybe the conflict is resolved? Are you received differently, or is there no sort of difference? It's a sort of commonality.
The only place where it's different actually is probably Northern Ireland, and that's the hardest place for us to go.
Right.
And everywhere else we're just treated with respect. Yeah, we were speaking in East Belfast, and as we were talking, there was a riot happening outside, and this was in January, and there's an incredible photo of me and Pat speaking with an amazing woman called Leslie Carroll, and you can see out the window police running with their riot gear on, and as we're speaking outside, you can see the demonstrators full of hate and just wanting to hurt the people inside, and they were so angry. They really were angry, and yet within the room we had this amazing quality of listening and respect and empathy, and people from different sides who'd all taken risks to get there, and all, when they left, had to deal with people shouting at them, hitting them, threatening them. Amazing, absolutely amazing. But yeah, that and since then it has changed how we can work there. There's some groups that won't have us. So yeah, I would say that's the only place where we're treated differently. Everywhere else it's sort of the same, really. But because that's where we come from, that is our conflict, I think that's always going to be the place where there's more triggers, there's more reactions, and actually where most value we can give, I feel, is there. Yeah.
Last few minutes, Jo. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Is there anything that you would like to leave? How many people will see this? I have no idea.
Well, you know what? I wish someone had said to me right back in 84, now 27, that whatever I'm feeling would have been understandable. And I feel that is the truth. We've all got our own ways of responding. We've all got our own journeys. Yes, we can all transform from whatever life throws at us, and it throws things at all of us. Mine's a big story, but everyone listening to this will have their own challenges. Yes. And yet we've all got our own way, our own journey, and no one else can say you've got to do this or feel this or think this. No. We've all got our own way, and sometimes maybe it's important to get really angry and say I'm not going to forgive. I know amazing people who say they haven't forgiven. I don't even think that's necessary, but we've all got our own way of transforming it, and we can empower each other and listen. And the best gift we can give each other is just to listen to each other's story.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jo. I'm incredibly humbled, and it's been an honour having you on. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.